all you need is a bucket of water and these are water bags. Now what it is the material on the outside is waterproof. It'll hold the water, but the bottom of the bag is a mesh. Now the outside bag is 130 and the inside bag is 110. And what happens is the resin glands, the trichomes, will go through the 110, but they won't go through the 130. It may even be 140. It's an extreme. Just the water goes through. So what you end up with is a little pile of resin glands. And I'll show you that with the lens that I have. Now this is just a telescopic lens. You can use a microscope or whatever, but I used this little lens. I've even used a lens out of the camera, invert it, turned around to magnify. And you'll see that's just the resin glands. And the whole idea here is to get rid of the plant matter and the vegetable debris that you don't want to be putting into your lungs anyhow. Now, if I've got a plant in the corner of the room that's got a little mold on it, I don't like to spray 2 weeks before I harvest, so I don't. I'd rather it go a little moldy, and then at the end of the cycle, I cut it down, dry it out, and throw it in the bag along with everything else. And at least you get something, and the mold is released in the water, and you throw the water out. Now, the water will end up with all the water-soluble nutrients from the leaf and stalk and whatnot, so you'll be able to use it in your garden. Now, so basically the first step is fill a bucket of water. Take your outside bag. Your outside bag is the 110 mesh. This is where your hash will end up. And you put the outside bag inside the bucket, if you can follow that. You want your water as cold as possible. The whole idea here is you're chilling off the resin glands to as cool as possible so that they'll break cleanly away from the vegetable matter, leaves, stalk. I'll throw everything in here. Now, if you don't have access to one of these bag systems, I suggest ask your mom to make you one. These are really easy to put together. You just have to have the right material. The material here is, like I say, waterproof, non-water permeable. The water only has one exit, and that's through the screen. So I'll tie it off nice and tight. There we go. And then you put your second bag. I've got this right. I think I've got these inside out. So I'll get this rearranged, and then I'll come back and show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so what I've done here now is I've got the smaller bag with the, it's two bags. One bag a little bit bigger, and the bigger bag is on the outside, and the smaller bag is on the inside. The bigger bag has the finer mesh, and the smaller bag has a wider mesh to let the resin glands go through. Now, in nature, resin glands are not water soluble. When it rains, your resin doesn't wash off the plant. Resin is only soluble or solvent in certain bases like oil. You'll notice that you can get the resin off your hands with a little bit of butter. Well, it's oil soluble. Same with alcohol. It'll come off with alcohol. If it's on your fingers, it's alcohol solvent. But it doesn't dissolve in water. So what a lot of people do is they take a little coffee grinder and they grind up their stuff, and then they screen it over a screen of 110 mesh. Now, you'll get a lot of debris that comes through the screen along with the resin heads. So that's why I find this method extremely useful for getting all the impurities, all the undesirable stuff out of your solution. You don't want to be smoking chlorophyll and nitrogen and all the other stuff that's just going to dissolve into the water. So the next step here is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my debris leaf, crush it up with my coffee thing, and then I'll put it in the thing and I'll put ice on it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've ground all the leaf up. It took a little bit, but I ground it up in the coffee grinder, and I put it in the water in the bag. And the water is about 2/3 full. The top of the bucket's about 1/3 left in the bucket. Now, on this step, the whole idea is you're trying to cool down the leaf and the trichomes, the resin glands. And to that end, ice, party ice. And what you do is once you get your stuff in the water, cold water, cold, 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 you take your party ice and you just dump it in on top. And, piece of my beard, I'll even throw a piece of my beard in. So you just pour the ice on top, and you're trying to get as much of your vegetable debris and matter immersed into the water as possible. Now, everything should be extremely dry. You want it as dry as possible, your leaf that is. You want your leaf and stuff as dry as possible so that the trichome heads will break off evenly. Now my beard doesn't work because it's too green. So from here, what you do is you let it sit for a few minutes with ice covering it, and it'll chill it off drastically. And then after that, you'll go at it with a mixer wand, and you stir it up, stir it up, stir it up a whole bunch, and that'll break it up even more. And the trichomes, after they're cooled, they'll drop through the water, through the first bag, into the second one. And so this is so loud, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause for a moment here and do this, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so we're back. I've stirred it a bunch of times. I've used my wand mixer a number of times. You stick it in as deep as you can. You stir it around a whole bunch of times, and you wait 20 minutes, and then you do it again. And I've done that 3 times in a row. Oop, losing my beard. And after it's been stirred and let sit for 3 times, and let it sit, it cools it off. Now, it's really important to have your hands as clean as possible all the time, because any oils, any stuff on your hands will go into the water, and it will contaminate the taste, as well as contaminate your stuff. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the bucket. It's good to do this in your bathroom so you've got access to a tub. I'm going to lift the bucket into the tub. And it's got all the plant matter and the ice in the first bag. And when I remove the first bag, it'll take all that plant matter and debris out of the solution, leaving behind your hash in the outside bag. And it can be tricky to extract. All the water and all the liquid will pour through like that, hopefully with all the trichomes, because that first bag is only 110 mesh, and it lets all the stuff go through. And then you're left with mass. And you can actually take this leaf and bleach it a few more times, crush it up, and turn it into hemp paper. And that's a handy little way to recycle it, or throw it in your compost pile. It doesn't have a lot of nitrogen or nasty stuff in it. It won't hurt your compost pile. It'll probably do it some good. Okay, so once you get that bag out, what you're left with is a dirty-looking solution. Now, all the water-soluble nutrients end up in this water. You can reuse this water in your vegetable garden or wherever you'd like. And what I'm going to do is pull it out. All the liquid will pour through, leaving in the bottom your hash. It's quick and easy. And sometimes it takes a few minutes to pour out. Now this time it probably won't, because there's not a whole lot of hash in the bottom of this. I didn't use a whole lot of leaf, so I won't get a whole lot of hash. It'll be a very little bit. It'll be enough to fill a bowl a few times maybe. And it's pouring, pouring, pouring. And the more you use, you can redo it. You can take your first bag out, and take all your plant matter out, put fresh stuff in, and do it again. So that what you end up with is an accumulated pile of hash, and you'll get a bigger mass out of it. This little bit will only produce a small little bit of hash, and as soon as I drain it, that's what you're looking at in the bottom. And all that is the resin heads, the actual resin glandulars. And from here, you'll scoop it up. You take the bag, and you give it a bit of a squeeze to get the last little bit of water up, and you'll scoop it up and squeeze the water out of it. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll lay down a piece of saran wrap or cellulose plastic and squeeze it between the cellulose plastic and squeeze the water out. And there you go. That is hash, believe it or not. And when we come back, I'll show you exactly what to do with it. First, I'll show you a close-up with my fancy little lens, and then I'll show you how to manipulate this hash into a little resin ball. So here we are with my fancy little lens, and all we're looking at here is clear resin heads. Now the reason why you can't see anything is because there's so many little resin heads and they're all clear. There we go. But believe me, they're all clear resin heads. So that's what resin glands look like up close. I know it's difficult to look at, but believe me, they're there. So now what you want to do is wash your hash and wash it all together. If you look in the bag, it's all kind of spread out there. It's just because of the way I drained it quickly. But what I'll do is I'll wash it all into one mass, and by washing it too, it cleans a lot of the impurities and a lot of the stuff out of it. That water is pretty rank, and pouring fresh water over it will get all the goopy stuff out of it. How's that for technical terms? So I'll wash it and we'll be right back. So there we go. I've washed it all together into one mass. Now what I'll do is I'll take it in my hands
And I'll just give it a gentle squeeze to get the water out. And it all comes together. Like I said, you can use a saran wrap, put it between some saran wrap, squeeze some more water out, and then that's what you end up with. It is a piece of hash. Look at that. And that's just from a little bit of bunk leaf, some bud trim. I throw the odd bud in here and there. And it's quick and easy, and it's healthy. It's way healthier. You know the source, you know where it's coming from, you know what's in it, you know it's not sprayed, and it's so quick and easy to make at home. You'll be surprised by the quality you can make out of a leaf without using isopropanol or harsh chemicals or anything. There you go. Homemade hash. Well, this is